Alright, this is the Unit 1 practice test. Okay, so if you're doing this, hopefully this will help you study, get prepared for the real test. These are 18 questions. The real test is 18 questions. These are how the questions are worded. These are what the questions will look like. And so if you can do this practice test just fine, then you should be able to do the real test just the same. Okay? So hopefully you have tried these and you're just checking your answers. Or if you're stuck on a question and you're here to watch, that's fine too. Okay? So let's look at number 1. Which value of x makes the equation, and then there's an equation here. Actually, let me get this equation true. And if you did the review, this question is just asking you to solve. It just worded different, it looks different, but all you got to do is solve. Okay? So what I'm going to do here, if I'm just trying to solve this is like a regular equation. Okay? I have parentheses, so I know I need to distribute. Okay? So let's do that first. So I'm going to multiply 3.6 times 7x, and you get 25.2, and then don't forget your x. And then I have to multiply 3.6 times 24, and you get plus 86.4 equals, and then negative 115.2. Alright, I distributed. I don't have any terms I can combine on the same side. So I'm going to simply move everything away from x, and first thing I have to move away is this number because there's no x on it. So because it's plus 86.4, I'm going to do minus 86.4. Okay, I want to do it on both sides. That way these are 0. I'm going to bring this down, equals, and then whatever that is. So negative 115.2 minus 86.4. And you get negative 201.6. Okay? From here, I need x. And since I have a number with x and they're multiplied, I'm going to do the opposite and divide. So my x gets brought down, equals, and then whatever that answer is, oh look at that, a nice whole number, negative 8. Okay, so I mean that's our answer right there. If you want to come up here and just do x equals negative 8, you can. But that's how we solve it. So we distribute, multiply, move the number to the other side away from x, and then divide by the number multiplied with x, and we have our answer. So 3 steps, and even though I had decimals in the question, my answer was a whole number. Okay, well, technically an integer, so no decimal answer. Alright, number 2. What is the solution to? Okay, so again, it's worded different, it looks different, but it just means solve. So I am solving this equation right there. Okay. And look, I have parentheses again. Anytime you see parentheses, let's distribute first, get rid of those. Okay, so I have this left side didn't change. 2 times 21 is 42x. And then 2 times 101 is 202. Okay. If my camera will focus. There we go. Alright. I cannot combine like terms because my equal sign, right? So I need to move my x's to the same side and my numbers to the other side. And I always move the smaller x. Again, you don't have to. So I'm going to move 22x to the other side of the equation. Because it's a positive, if there's no negative, it's automatically positive. So because it's positive, I'm going to do minus or negative 22. That way those are 0. I'm going to bring this down. 42x minus 22x is 20x. And then I bring this down. All right. So my x's are on the same side. My numbers need to go to the other side. So because it's minus 202, I will do plus 202 on both sides. Okay, those become 0. And I do 202 minus 76. You get 126. All right. And, well, yeah, because I brought that down, right? That didn't change. And then my last step, because I have 20x, I divide by 20. And my answer becomes 6.3. Okay. X equals 6.3. All right. And so I'm going to go ahead and write that up here. So that's my answer. And I will say, if you are watching and listening to this, my answers so far, I have decimals in the question, but my answer is not a decimal. And then I don't have decimals, but my answer is a decimal. I will say the questions might be very similar on the test, and the answers might be similar format. So notice on this one, I got a 6.3 because when I divided, you had 6.3 and then nothing else past that, right? So you will get an answer, at least one, well, so far, one where it is like that, where you have just a decimal place. So just make sure. So you should have decimal answers on here. So don't think it's odd if you get a decimal and think, oh no, I did something wrong. Don't think that. Decimals are fine. You should get some. Yeah. All right, number 3. What is the solution to? Okay, again, it's just saying solve. Okay. Again, just another way to write it. And the reason that they're written that way on the test is because the STAR test at the end of the year, the EOC, that's how they write it, and they write it a bunch of different ways. You just have to know they all mean just solve for x. Okay. All right, solve. Or what is the solution? I have parentheses again, so I need to distribute. And I'm going to do it on both sides because I have 2 sets of parentheses. Okay. So I'm going to multiply 0.8 times 17. And I don't know what that is, so I'm going to do it in the calculator. You get 13.6x. 0.8 times negative 32. And we get minus 25.6 equals, and negative 0.8 times 68, we have negative 54.4, and then negative 0.8 times negative 11 is positive 8.8, and that's x. Okay, so far so good. So notice on these first 3 questions, we have distributed as the first step for all 3. And then just like the other 2 on here, I don't have anything to combine on the same side. Okay, I haven't had to do that yet. So on this one, I'm going to move all my x's to the same side, move all my numbers to the other side. Now, if I look at my 2 x's, 13.6 and 8.8, 8.8 is smaller, so I'm going to move that one. And because it's plus, now I do minus, because you always do the opposite to move it. That's 0. So I have 13.6 minus 8.8. You get 4.8x. Okay, I'd bring this one down, equals, bring this one down. All right, my x's are all on the same side. Now I have to move my numbers to the other side. So I'm going to move this negative 25.6, and because it's a minus, now it becomes plus, because you always do the opposite. 0, and bring this down, equals, and negative 54.4 plus 25.6, I get negative 28.8. And just like the last two questions, my last step, because I have a number with x, is I divide by that number. Now make sure when you do these, whatever number is with x is always on the bottom of the fraction. So when you type these in, don't type them in backwards. So like here, I'm going to type in negative 28.8 divided by 4.8. And I get a nice clean number. So x equals negative 6. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write that over here, just so it's easier for me later to check my answer if I need to. Alright, that was number 3. Number 4. So this is the last one on this page. And I know I'm probably seeming like I'm going slower than I do on the homework sometimes, but this is a practice test. This is the closest thing to the test you will get to see and practice beforehand. And so I just want to make sure I show all my work and explain all my steps and do the best I can to make sure you are prepared so that you can do the best you can on the test. And let's hope that you make an A because of this. If you're doing this, this should help. I hope. Alright, come on, camera. There we go. Nope. Oh my gosh. Okay, so number 4, if it'll come into focus. Of course, you have this on your paper. So what is the solution to, and then I have this long equation, so I'm just solving for x, okay? And just like the last one, I have 2 parentheses, so I need to distribute first. Okay, distribute means multiply. Now, please don't forget this. So if I have something that's not in parentheses, I don't change it yet. I don't do anything with it. So I want to go ahead and write it down so I don't forget. Because again, I've seen people, they just start with multiplying, which is correct, but then they forget all the other variables or numbers, and then their answer gets off by the end. You don't want to do that. Alright, so I write down my 6x. Now I multiply. 5 times negative 4, negative 20. 5 times 6x is 30x. Equals. I wish this camera would stop changing so much. Okay, I think that's a little better. Alright, now, on the other side, negative 5 times negative 8x is a positive 40x. Negative 5 times negative 4 is a positive 20. Alright. Now, with this one is the first one so far of these 4 that I've had to combine like terms because I have a 6x and a 30x on the same side of the equal sign, right? So I have to combine those. It just makes it easier. Because if you don't, then it can get tricky later because you technically don't have to. But why have more numbers than you need? So I'm going to put these together. 6 plus 30 is 36x. I bring down my negative or minus 20. Everything else stays the same. Okay. And now I'm back on track to what I've been doing this whole page. I want my x's on one side, my numbers on the other. Between the two x's, my 36 is smaller. And because 36x is positive because there's no sign there, I'm going to subtract 36, so that's 0. I bring my negative 20 down. 40 minus 36 is 4x, and then I bring this 20 down. Okay. My x's are on one side, so my numbers need to get moved to the other. So plus 20 becomes minus 20. Please don't think that that means a 0. It's not. Negative 20 minus 20 is negative 40. And I bring my 4x down. Some of y'all might already know the answer and you can just be done. So again, my last step, because I have 4x, I want to divide by 4, which means 4 goes on the bottom. So I'm going to get x equals, all right, negative 40 divided by 4, negative 10. That one was a little easier because there's no decimals or fractions like we've had. Okay, and that's my answer. So I'm going to write x equals negative 10. All right, that is the first page of the practice test. So this video is now done.